Hi everybody, come back with me, Teacher Ha. Today we are going to talk about aeroplanes and global warming. Have you ever looked out the window of a passenger plane from about 30,000 feet at the vast expanses of empty ocean and uninhabited land? I wonder how people can have any major effect on the earth. I have, but it is now becoming pretty clear that we are causing a great deal of damage to the natural environment. And the planes which rush in comfort to destinations around the globe contribute to one of the biggest environmental problems that we face today is global warming. For those of us lucky enough to have money to spend and the free time to spend it in, there are a bulk number of fascinating places to explore. The cost of air transport has decreased rapidly over the years, and for many people, especially in rich countries, it is now possible to fly around the world for little more than a contents our weekly pay packets. Unfortunately, planes produce far more carbon dioxide or CO2 than any other form of public transport. And CO2 is now known to be a greenhouse gas, a gas which traps the heat of the earth, of the sun, causing the temperature of the earth to rise. Scientists predict that in the near future, climate in Britain will resemble that of a Mediterranean, ironically a popular destination for British holiday makers flying off to seek the sun. If global warming continues, we may also find that many tourist destinations such as the Maldives and disappear underwater because of rising sea levels. As usual, people in developing world are having to deal with the problems created mainly by those of us in developed countries. Patrice Sells, a spokesman for the European Federation for Transport and Environment, said that one person flying an airplane for 1 hour is responsible for the same greenhouse gas emissions as a typical Bangladesh in a whole year. And every year, jet craft generate almost as much carbon dioxide as the entire African continent produces. When you are waiting empty in a crowded departure lounge for a delayed flight or trying to find luggage which has gone astray, plane fares may seem unreasonably high, but in reality, we are not paying enough for air travel. Under the polluter pays principle, where users pay for the bad effects that causes the damage caused by planes in not being paid for. Aircraft fuel is not taxed on international flights and planes, unlike cars, and not inspected for CO2 emissions. Also, the Kyoto Agreement does not cover greenhouse gases produced by planes, leaving governments to decide themselves who is responsible. So, What can be done to solve the problem? Well, although aircraft engine manufacturers are making more efficient engines and researching after high-tide fuels, such as hydrogen, it will be decades before air travel is not damaging to the environment. Government don't seem to be taking the problem seriously. It is up to individual travelers to do what they can to help. The most obvious way to dealing with the problems is not to travel by plane at all. Environmental groups like Friends of the Earth encourage people to travel by train and plan holidays near home. However, with Princess of Light at an all-time count in exotic destinations, more popular than ever, it is hard to pressure British tourists to choose Blackpool instead of Bangkok or Sydney over Singapore. Friends of the Earth also advise using teleconference for international business meetings, but almost business people still prefer to meet face to face. However, there is a way to offsetting the carbon dioxide we produce when we travel by plane. A community called Future Forest, whose supporters include Coldplay and Pink Floyd, offers service which can reveal the guilty conscience of air travel. The Future Forest website calculated the amount of CO2 when you are responsible for producing or your flight, and for a small free will you plant the number of trees when which is absorb this CO2. Another company, CO2RLG, offers a similar service, but invest your money in energy-saving projects such as providing efficient light bulbs to villages in Mauritius. Yesterday, I returned to Japan from England and was happy to buy Future Forest 25 pounds planted tree, 13 trees, which balanced my share of CO2 produced my return flight. Now, the only thing make me lose sleep is jet lag. Thanks for listening. Goodbye.